Greetings, everyone. My name is Jonathan Bailey, and I'm from the website Plagiarism Today, which can be found at plagiarismtoday.com. Do check it out if you get a moment. Today, in all honesty, the big news is Jonah Lehrer, and that's a name I was hoping I could go the rest of my life without uttering. For those who don't remember, don't know, excuse me, Jonah Lehrer was, I guess we got to talk in the past tense now, a science reporter, a very, very, very rapidly rising star in the field, if you will. He has, at just over the age of 30, he's already written for pretty much every major news publication you can think of, it would seem. In fact, his most recent job was at the New Yorker, which, for those who are interested in becoming journalists, know that's pretty much the pinnacle of where you can go in the United States. And he was doing it in the very competitive field of science writing, so a very, very dense field of very talented writers, and he'd risen to the top very quickly. Last month, it came out that Mr. Lehrer had engaged in self-plagiarism, basically. He had reused text and other elements of prior works in his works for the New Yorker, and for later, he'd reused content from his 2 books and from earlier news articles he'd published in his more recent works for the New Yorker and other newspapers. And every time self-plagiarism becomes an issue, there's 2 debates that take place simultaneously, both of them very heated. The first is whether or not he actually did it, the person involved did it. And the second is whether or not there even is such a thing as self-plagiarism, and if it is unethical or not. And this debate really came out in a very strong way with Mr. Lehrer's allegations. Basically, everyone in the world had an opinion on whether or not A, self-plagiarism was wrong, and B, if he actually did it. The New Yorker, at the end of the day, somewhat reluctantly, I believe, stood by Mr. Lehrer. They let him keep his job with a promise that he would not reuse any old text, that it wouldn't happen again, basically, and things continued as is. And we're now a little bit over a month after the fact, and it seemed like the issue would die down, that everyone had forgotten about it. Well, an article came out recently, in the past few days, that said Mr. Lehrer, in addition to the alleged self-plagiarism, had fabricated quotes from Bob Dylan as part of his book Imagine. And it's really, really stupid to fabricate quotes from Bob Dylan. Not only is Bob Dylan one of, if not possibly the most studied musician alive, he is indeed still alive. He can confirm or deny those quotes pretty trivially. And I'm not sure if that's how he was found out, but long story short, it was revealed that he fabricated the quotes. Mr. Lehrer has admitted that he fabricated the quotes and has resigned his post at the New Yorker and is basically stepping down as a journalist. So at age, 31, I think he is, his career has shot up to the highest of the heights and has now come crashing down. I read there are several articles online talking about what Jason Blair, the famous New York Times reporter accused of plagiarism, what he has, quote-unquote, advice for Mr. Lehrer, and I know others do as well, but it's a very, very, very quick stop to his career, no matter how you look at it. But what's interesting is, when the debate was going on about whether or not he was a self-plagiarist, and whether or not, like I said, self-plagiarism is even a thing. And this is something, for the record, if you think the debate is crazy online, go to the 5th International Plagiarism Conference. The debate is just as strong there. I mean, you range from people that view self-plagiarism in any circumstances wrong, people who say it's only wrong if it's not directly disclosed, and those who view self-plagiarism as never being wrong. They're all in the confines of that one room, realistically. So you have experts on plagiarism from all over the world who disagree on this. Needless to say, the internet's not going to figure it out in a day either. But long story short, it's interesting because he had a lot of people supporting him. A lot of people that were very rah-rah, chanting, very much in favor of Mr. Lehrer, saying that he'd done nothing wrong, he was being falsely accused, he was being railroaded, and they supported him, and I think it was that support in large part that helped him keep his job during that very tumultuous time, a time where apparently he should have lost his job, though not for the reasons necessarily on the plate. I would really like to hear what those people have to say, if they feel betrayed, if they feel that maybe this makes them second guess their views on self-plagiarism, because indeed, there was an ethical issue going on, even if you don't think self-plagiarism is it. Maybe people who are engaged in self-plagiarism are more inclined to engage in other ethical issues such as fabrication. I don't know. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you're one of the supporters of Mr. Lehrer, and there are many of you leaving YouTube comments, I know you're out there, leave a comment to this. Do it both here on YouTube. You can do it on the Facebook page. You can also do it Google Plus and Twitter as well. Leave a comment. I want to hear what you have to say here. I was not particularly a supporter of Mr. Lehrer. I'm surprised that he would be this audacious, but not necessarily personally hurt by it. I would like to hear your thoughts on it, how this has impacted your views on self-plagiarism, if at all. It might not have. And how this has impacted your view on the case. All in all, I think, for me, it just sort of re-emphasizes what I was saying back on the Copyright 2.0 show, where they needed to launch a more thorough investigation. It's possible a more detailed investigation could have caught this fabrication and possibly other issues. Even if you don't think self-plagiarism is a thing, it should be treated as a warning sign, and I think this highlights that. Anyways, love to hear your thoughts. That's the reason I made this. Comments below. Thank you very much, and until next time, this is Jonathan Bailey, signing off.